I've interviewed lots of Hollywood talent over the past 20 years, but I have to say, Ricardo Montalban impressed me more than any of them. He was my guest at a screening of Mystery Street back in 2000, despite suffering from a serious back injury that had finally slowed him down at 80 years of age. He gave the audience an inspiring interview in which his graciousness and nobility shined through very obvious pain. I asked him at one point if there was anything he disliked about his early days in Hollywood, and he immediately replied, defiantly, how much he resented having to play every variation of Hispanic and Latin, Cuban, Venezuelan, Puerto Rican, but was never allowed to play what he was, a Mexican. He excoriated Hollywood for treating Mexicans as second-class citizens and proudly raised a fist to declare Viva Mexico. Now, one of these days in Noir Alley we'll show Border Incident, another John Alton photographed film in which Ricardo Gonzalo Pedro Montalban y Moreno actually got to portray a Mexican. One of my major film noir pipe dreams, no offense to Charlton Heston, is reimagining Touch of Evil with Montalban in the role of Mike Vargas. Now, Montalban wasn't the only musical performer making a dramatic detour with Mystery Street. Sally Forrest was signed by MGM as a dancer right out of high school and appeared as a chorus girl in numerous Metro musicals in the 1940s. It was Ida Lupino who saw her potential as an actress, giving the 21-year-old her first dramatic role in Not Wanted, an independently made 1949 drama about the travails of an unwed mother. Lupino co-wrote and directed the film, which co-starred Leo Penn, Sean Penn's father, as the cad who impregnates Sally and leaves her high and dry. She'd make two more films with Lupino as director, Never Fear and Hard, Fast, and Beautiful. And one of her final movie appearances in 1956 would also be with Lupino, acting in Fritz Lang's While the City Sleeps. Mystery Street also features an appearance, briefly, by Betsy Blair as Jan Sterling's pal, Jackie. It's sort of odd that although she'd begun in show business as a dancer and had been married to Gene Kelly since 1941, we never saw Betsy Blair dance on screen, not even with her own husband. Studio bosses didn't fancy her plain Jane appearance in musicals. Of course, that average Jill persona is what made her so memorable in 1955's Marty, a role that earned her a Best Supporting Actress nomination, despite her having spent 5 years on the industry blacklist for her liberal political views. As I've noted before, film noir is filled with actors who dirtied up a good guy image by mucking around in crime movies, guys like Dick Powell and Dennis O'Keefe, and Marshall Thompson, who played Henry Shanway in today's film.
A woman always knows where she is, right?
What you need is fresh air.
Thompson had spent most of the 40s playing wholesome teenagers at MGM, but come 1949, noir's high watermark, Thompson's good guy persona took a beating. In 1950's Mystery Street, he's wrongly accused, but in Dial 1119, released the same year by MGM, he played an escaped mental patient who holds an entire tavern hostage. He followed that with The Tall Target, playing a young Confederate out to assassinate Abraham Lincoln. In Crash Out, he was an escaped convict. Thompson's lawlessness lasted only as long as the noir era. In the 60s, he was not only acting, but writing and directing, making a number of films about African wildlife. I definitely remember seeing Clarence, the cross-eyed lion, as a kid, and he also starred in the TV series Daktari. Thompson was more at home in the real jungle than in the asphalt variety. Now, we will be back in the asphalt jungle next week, specifically in a seedy trailer park overlooking downtown LA. Dick Powell plays an ex-con looking for revenge on the crooks who framed him in Cry Danger. It's a lot funnier than it sounds. In the meantime, keep up with Noir Alley on our Facebook page and Twitter feed, where you can ask questions, mouth off, and generally crack wise. I'm going to go back to working on my taxes, since this year we get an extra day to file. And of course, whenever I think about the use of our tax dollars, I gotta have a drink. helps numb the pain.